Good morning, everyone, and welcome to the show. It is a brand new streaming week, which, as usual, means there's a ridiculous amount of news to cover because I was off yesterday, including my Phil's Day Off segment and a bunch of stuff that's happened in the gaming industry. Plus, we've got an outstanding lineup of game streams for you this week. All this and more on today's Level 1 podcast. Alrighty, everyone. Good morning and welcome to the show. Today is Friday, the 22nd of September, 2023. Of course, I'm Darkside Phil, and I welcome you here to DSPGaming for a brand new streaming week. What a week we have, because this week we're moving full speed ahead with all the things that you guys actually want to see. Unlike last week, where I did have to do quite a bit of grinding and single-player content in order to unlock content and get to what you guys wanted. This week, every single stream is pretty much exactly what you want, and I'm very happy to bring that to you this week. It'll definitely be a good variety of stuff, and in general, I think this is going to be one of the better streaming weeks I've done in many weeks, so get ready. Hold on to your butts. In addition, it's the first week of autumn here in the United States. We actually have a little bit warmer weather today, which actually annoys me, because as you know, I took the air conditioners out last week. You will no longer hear the loud ambient blowing sound that you heard for the last several months because of that. At the same time, sadly, that means that on a day when there's full sun outside, I'm going to basically be overheated in the office until the temperatures overall cool down more. They have not yet. Right now, it's around 62 degrees outside, but it is full sun. And that means that this afternoon, as this office heats up, it's going to be a sweaty one. But that's why I'm here in nice attire, looser shirt, cooler stuff here to hopefully air out. Night streams should not be overheated at all. Night streams will be nice and relaxing. Every night now I'll have the window fully open and everything. I really just hope that, we actually get full-on fall weather soon. In fact, taking a look at what this is saying, it actually is saying that starting tomorrow, we're supposed to have rain and or clouds every single day this week, which would mean it really is full-on fall weather, which is obviously what I'm looking for. Today is like the last day of full sun, so we'll see how this goes. Anyway, everyone, welcome back. I hope that you're ready for a great week. I know I am. I had a very, very busy day yesterday, although I really can't tell you like half of what happened because, personal stuff and things like that. But I can tell you a few things which I'm sure you'll enjoy. A ton of gaming news happened. What a shocking twist that so much news happened on my day off. Always, right? Some of it was actually taking place at the end of Wednesday, and then we had all these things that happened yesterday. Tokyo Game Show is currently going on, and although I don't really have too much to say about Tokyo Game Show, a few little things came out of there that I think we can talk about today that would add to our discussions moving forward. Yeah, I'm excited. I just want to forewarn everyone, my post-nasal drip's bothering me today, which sucks. If you don't know what that means is, when I have a day with like bad allergies or something, I can have swelling of my sinuses and tons of yuckiness, and it might affect me today. Right now, my whole left sinus is swollen, and I was like, hey, should I take an allergy pill? Should I not? And I didn't yet, and now I'm thinking maybe I should have. But anyway, hopefully it won't be too big of a deal. All right. Anyway, so let's get started. Ladies and gentlemen, before we get to news, before we get to the schedule, I think we should do a little segment that we like to do once a week that we call Phil's Day Off. What do you think about that? Phil's Day Off, folks. What would you like to talk about today? What did I do yesterday? Well, let's talk a little bit about that. Maybe I'll change the color. Hold on a second here. Hold on. What about blue? How about some blue? Does that stand out a little better? It's all right. What color should we use for today? I like that I can change it. I just wish that I thought about this before we started. Green. How about that? We'll do minty green for today, just because I feel like being weird. Okay, so Phil's day off was yesterday. Okay? And, basically yesterday was a very crazy day. And what I mean is, we had a ton of stuff that we needed to do. We didn't know how much of what we had lined up to do we were going to be able to do, because we didn't know how long various things we had to do during the day were going to take, and we were running around a lot of that day. So, all right, here's what I can tell you we did. Obviously, I put my head in a lawnmower. No, I got a haircut, right? So obviously that's makes sense, and that was nice. I figured for the fall season now, air conditioner's out. Want to have better hair, so that way it can help me cool down on a hotter day like today. Like today, I know it's going to be hotter in here, so it'll be nice to have a nice fresh haircut starting with this busier autumn gaming season. So I did that. Basically all the usual errands, things you don't really care about, grocery shopping, pet supplies, stuff like that. And this time around I was a little annoyed, I'll be honest, all right, because the paparazzi was following me around. There was like speeding cars behind me as I drove around my normal day off. Oh, it was crazy. There was like a whole conga line of cars following me everywhere around, everywhere I went. Obviously, I'm just being facetious. Following up on a couple weeks ago, a ridiculous story that hit the internet from my idiotic detractor. So, still running with that. But, yeah, it was a normal day out. There was nothing really crazy going on in regards to, like, anything, there. Besides, we just had a lot to do. Had a lot of driving to do. That was for sure because of the appointments and things that we had. We were driving half the day, I would say. It was a cooler day, which was nice. It was nice that it was cool out because even though it was sunny, we weren't overheated or hot because now the temperatures have cooled down here. One thing I did do is during the day out, I had a chance to stop by a store that sells, name brand clothes at a discount. And I ended up getting a few longer sleeve shirts for the fall. As you know, I recently have started changing my wardrobe for streams. You guys have said you're so tired of the gaming shirts that I've worn for over 10 years. Mix it up and dress differently. And I said, okay. So over the summer, I started alternating these nicer kind of summertime button-down shirts that are very cooling and relaxing. And you guys liked them, right? So now I'm like, well, what should I do for the fall when it gets cooler? So, well, maybe I should have some nice long sleeve shirts and things like that I could wear on stream, which is normal clothing that I would wear if I weren't on stream, actually. Found a few of them for very good prices. I didn't spend more than, I think, $15 on a single piece of clothing that I got yesterday. And I got a few of them. I want to say I got like 3 shirts or something like that. I already have some. The thing is, you guys have literally never seen me wear them because I've always worn gaming shirts on streams. So when it gets cooler, it's not cool enough to do it yet, especially now with this, sun and everything. It's still going to be hot, but give it a few weeks to a month. Once we get into the full fall weather and the winter time as well, and it's colder, I will be able to wear those on stream, and it'll look a little different. It won't have the short sleeve summertime look anymore. It'll be more of a fall look, and I'm excited for that because they're comfy. You get nice comfy clothes, and they kind of sit around. I actually told you guys that right before I moved out here, because I used to live in Connecticut, and I moved out here in 2014. I had actually bought a bunch of clothes because in Connecticut it was very cold, much colder than it is here in the winters. And basically I bought a bunch of clothes and I moved out here and I was like, I don't really have need for these. When I'm on stream, I wear t-shirts, so I basically kind of had them just kind of sitting around. So I have some clothing that I can actually wear on streams that should look nice once the temps dip. So we'll see what happens with that, how quickly it happens. If it happens sooner rather than later, great. But I foresee I'll probably be wearing these style of shirts for a few more weeks at least until the temperatures permanently dip and we get more fall weather. It's cooler in here. Like I said, right now, in here, it's probably like 70-something degrees. But I guarantee you by the end of today's stream, it'll be like almost 90. Because that's how much this room heats up when there's sun on the wall in the afternoons. But if the temperatures dipped, it wouldn't matter. You see? Yes, Cracker Jacks, I know. He says, oh, I see a lot of new sock accounts here in the chat today. Yes, and it's the same person. just so everyone knows, I guess I should cover this quickly before we finish the Phil's Day Off segment. Recently, in the last couple of months, there's one person who's a really unhinged weirdo who literally is making dozens and dozens of sock accounts, and they even talk to themselves on those sock accounts to pretend like it's different people, to make people think it's real people, and it's not. And then they sit here and they do stupid stuff. They even have come in and in some cases gifted memberships to each other. They've contributed to the channel to make it look legit, and then people come to me behind the scenes. They're like, yeah, so here's all the evidence from Discord that it's the same person. They sit there talking on Discord about it and everything, and I'm like, how much of a loser could you be? You have nothing to do. I was trying to think about this, all right? I really want you to think about this. I am a small-time content creator and streamer, correct? Think about it. I don't make controversy. There's nothing really going on in my content besides people who like my content like to see me cover video games and hang out with me once a day for a podcast. That's it. I don't get embroiled in any kind of drama or nonsense at all. If you want to talk about people who are constantly like embroiled in that stuff, you always got to talk about the Wings of Redemptions or the Boogies or the LTGs, right? You say that I'm the same group as them, but in reality, when you compare apples to apples, it's very different. Everything around here is calm until someone tries to pull me into the drama. Also, I'm a small-time guy, right? I'm not a giant streamer. I don't have a big audience. I know that, and I'm okay with that. You understand? Why on earth someone would come to this stream and think that it's worth their time to sit here with dozens of sock accounts, pretend to be different people, catfishing essentially, to waste everyone's time just to be found out and get banned? Like, I just don't get it. What is the point? What did you accomplish? Could you move on with your life? You didn't derail my streams. You didn't derail my content. You didn't affect me in any way whatsoever. We all just sit here shaking our heads, face-palming at what a loser you are. Just move on and get a life. And you're doing nothing here. Maybe you could have an impact on someone else's content and streams. You don't have any impact on mine. You're just wasting everybody's time, mostly your own. Please, please move on. And if you really think it's worth your time and you've convinced yourself this, you need to seek help. I mean, you're just an idiot. I don't know what else to say. So yeah, you'll probably see a bunch of new sock accounts here today. I'm sure people are just going to sit here and tell me within a day or two exactly what is going on with that and say, yeah, you know, it's just the same idiot. And yeah, I know. I absolutely know what's going on. It's always the same moron. There's nothing you can do about it, right? Anyway. Okay, back to the Phil's Day Off segment. So a lot of things that you guys always ask is, you know, what do we do for food? Well, particularly, yesterday, we had a different kind of day. And what I mean by that is, we actually had to get to an appointment on the earlier side, and then we had other appointments, and we didn't know how long those appointments were going to last. Okay? So because of that, essentially, we had to do weird food stuff. Like, normally we wouldn't, but we actually ordered in a breakfast yesterday. Okay, which we usually wouldn't do. But we did that because we're like, okay, let's order in a breakfast because we need to eat quick so we can get ready to go and not be late for our first appointment. We can't grab food while we're out because, number one, it'll be too late. And number two, we don't know how much time we would have. We can't sit down anywhere. Let's just order something in. So we had actually ordered a breakfast, and it's from a local place that we really like. But we have noticed in the last couple of years, the place can be very hit or miss. And what I mean by that is sometimes this place is absolutely outstanding. Super good food, great quality, and then other times they screw it all up. And sadly, yesterday was one of those days. We ordered the food, it took over an hour to get it, and it was their fault. They were taking forever to make the food. So were they busy? I mean, maybe, but when you get an order, do you really take like an hour to make the food? And it really did. It took them that long. By the time the food showed up, we were already running late because we were expecting the food was going to show up earlier. And then the food was all, let me put it this way, they didn't really mess it up. But for example, let's say you're ordering a breakfast combo and you're like, okay, well, normally what we would do is we would do a substitute because one of the breakfast combos comes with, say, sausage, and we don't want the sausage. So we would put a note and say, hey, if possible, could you just give us like an egg in here instead of the sausage, because we really don't feel like the sausage. So they didn't read any of our notes whatsoever. They disregarded all of them as if we had never written them. And then in addition to that, they didn't give us half the stuff that goes with the food. So if you're getting a breakfast combo and it's supposed to come with like a kind of jelly or jam, and it's supposed to come with some kind of a condiment to go with it, they gave us nothing, right? So my wife really likes ordering breakfast crepes from this place. We ordered breakfast crepes. They gave us absolutely nothing to go with them. So it was just plain crepes. Plain. Do you know what plain crepes taste like? They're not great. You need to have something with the crepe to make it taste better. And that was the point. It was supposed to come with a bunch of stuff. It came with nothing. They ripped us off, basically. Say my food, I ordered a breakfast combo. And again, we've ordered from this place before. This place, it was so greasy. And it was just eggs over easy, like a couple pieces of bacon, and some breakfast potatoes. And the whole thing was just like dripping with grease. I was like, dude, I've never seen it this bad before. It was really disgusting. So we didn't even eat that much. To be honest, like, we didn't even eat that much for breakfast. We kind of each ate a little bit of each of our breakfasts, and we were very disappointed with it. I'm like, well, that sucks. What can you do? We were in a rush to get food. The food shows up late, and then it's not even good. So then, like I said, we had gone out, and we had done a whole bunch of stuff, multiple appointments, you know, haircut appointment, other appointments and things we had to do. And this ended up being a day where, and this almost never happens on our day off, but we got so wrapped up in everything we were doing, we were out way late. Like, typically, I would say on a usual day off, we would end our day with getting dinner somewhere or coming home and ordering dinner. In this case, we were out past, like, 9 p.m., and we hadn't even eaten yet. Okay? That's how crazy busy of a day it was for us. So we get home, and of course, Jasper's like, where have you been? You've been out so long today, you're never out that long. And he's right, you know, it's a little out of the ordinary. So he came home, we're like, well, what are we going to do? I mean, we could have tried to eat out at like 9 p.m., but at that point, it's so late, and a lot of places are closing, and also, if there are people out, might be busy. You're like, yeah. So we came home, and of all things, okay, guess what we had for dinner yesterday? You'd never guess, all right? Burger King. Yes, that's right. We had Burger King for dinner yesterday. And I will say this, all right? Burger King is not bad if you can get it from a decent location, much like any of these franchise fast food places. We have been to absolutely atrociously bad Burger Kings. The one that we went to 2 years ago that gave us the infamously bad chicken sandwich that was inedible. Yeah, it's kind of, you know, it's infamous. But if you can go to a good one or order from a good one, it's actually not that bad. And what we ended up finding out, because we came home and we were really hungry. We're like, but what are we going to do? Am I going to go out, drive again, and just grab something? And my wife was like, well, is there something quick we could just order? You know? And we started looking online. The problem is all the fast food places online are insanely expensive. They up their prices like crazy. But when we were looking around, like Burger King, they actually had like a nice family pack where you can get like a bunch of burgers and some sides for like $20. And I was like, well, if you order just like a combo, it's like $15 on these delivery apps. But if you order this special delivery combo, it's like way cheaper. I was like, oh, so let's do that. So we just ordered that, and it ended up, yeah, we got a Whoppers, cheeseburgers, fries, and an onion rings showed up. I'm like, okay. And I haven't had Burger King onion rings in a while, and I'll be honest, they used to be much better, but they weren't that bad. I like them better than Burger King fries. And we each had like a Whopper, you know, which is good. The Whopper is still the consistently good burger at Burger King. It's still a giant meat patty. It's still got the flame broiled taste. It's got the condiments. It's got the everything you want on there, you know. I was not disappointed, even though obviously on our day off, typically we would eat out at a restaurant or order in somewhere nice, you know, being that it was such an insane day and we were running around the whole day and we didn't really have time to do much. We just rushed, and that's what we had, and it wasn't bad. I was pleased. So, you know, again, and it depends, because by the way, yes, the Burger King we ordered from was not the Burger King that infamously gave me the terrible chicken sandwich 2 years ago. It was a different location, and this one did a really good job. In fact, for delivery now, they package it up nicely into individualized bags. So, like, one bag had, like, all the sandwiches, and the other bag had, like, fries and onion rings separated, and those were sealed, and then they put that inside of a bigger bag that's, again, sealed. So it's really nice for delivery. I was like, they actually did a good job with this. It wasn't like they rushed it and put it in shit and someone just runs out the door with it. They actually package it nicely for delivery services. And I was like, all right, well, that's not bad at all. So, there you go. I wasn't displeased with what it was. And by the way, like I said, These days, when you go to a fast food place and you buy a combo, it's probably like $10 for the combo after tax. This package was $20 for the whole thing, for all this food. And I was like, so basically we paid what we would have paid if I drove there, and we ended up getting more food, actually, because we didn't get drinks, but instead we got more food. I'm like, this is not bad, you know? So, there you go. 2 years later, Burger King has redeemed themselves in my eyes, this location. And that's the thing. It depends on what location you go to. Burger King redeemed themselves in my eyes. Not to say that we'd be eating Burger King constantly. We're not going to. We rarely eat fast food. But for something, a rarity of a day that we were out so late, it actually wasn't that bad. So, there you go. And that's really it. I don't really have crazy amounts of stuff to talk about from Phil's day off this week. Like I said, it was just a crazy day, very busy day. I had told you guys on Wednesday, because some people were like, oh, so the week before you did an impromptu Street Fighter 6 stream. Will you be doing an impromptu stream this week? I was like, don't count on it, because the amount of appointments and stuff that we had lined up, there was a very, very slim chance that we were going to have extra time for anything. And incidentally, we didn't. We had no time for anything. We were just so super busy, right? All right, so that's the Phil's Day Off segment. Very, very, very exciting, guys. I know you look forward to it every week. Okay. So, what shall we do? First of all, I just want to say Wednesday was a great streaming day. We had a great progress in Starfield, which we hadn't played in a week. We actually started with the UC/Vanguard questline and got a really good chunk into it, and the questline's very interesting. I don't want to spoil it for those who haven't been caught up on my playthrough yet, but basically seems to be it's going to be one of the more interesting questlines in the whole game, rather than some of the other ones that are more generic and boring. This one's really interesting plot line involving, of all things, monsters. That's all I'm going to say. So give it a look if you haven't yet, and I'll be continuing on with Starfield on late streams this week, multiple times, so we will have good development of that plot line later in the week, okay? And then the late stream on Wednesday was Street Fighter 6 returning Lily's ranked climb to Master. And I do have an update for all of you. Allow me to find it here. Hold on. Here we go. Because I have the updated spreadsheet with my Street Fighter 6 statistics, which we haven't talked about in a week because I haven't played Street Fighter 6 in a week. So what I will say is this: Lily is continuing her climb to Master, but it's the roughest one I've done. Between Blanca twice hitting Master and E Honda hitting Master, this is the hardest one. Lily is low tier. She doesn't have many tools. She gets stuck in corners, okay? And it's funny because some people have even given me some advice. They're like, oh, when you're playing with Lily, you get stuck in the corner, just try to jump out. I have tried that. She gets stuffed. She tries to jump and gets hit and ends up right back in the corner. You know, there's not much I can do. She's not a very good character. I like her, though. That's the funny part, is she's a unique build, and I like her fighting style. I just wish they would improve things about her to make her more viable in the competitive scene. But what can you do? She is as good as she is. I played for about 2.5 hours on Wednesday night. She did not break 5-star diamond, which would have been my goal, but she got close. At the end of the night, the momentum had picked up. I think we had started around, I want to say it was around, was it 22,600 or 22,800 for the points? I can't remember how many points we started with, but at the end of the night, we were at like 23,300 or 23,400 or something like that. So we gained a good 600, 700 points playing, even though there's a lot of wins and losses mixed. Here it is, 30 wins, 26 losses for a 54% win-loss ratio with Lily. And so I am climbing. It's just not anywhere as fast as I would like, but there's not much I can do about that. It's you know, again, that character is so limited with what she can do. You get locked down by certain strategies. You get bad luck. Like I said, one match. Here we go. Finish the match. Oh, wrong move comes out. Now the enemy not only gets like a 50-60% punish combo on you because the wrong move came out, now you're stuck in the corner and you can't get out. Game over. So, wow, that's the story with Lily. Play well, and if you don't drop anything, you have great execution, you are good to go. But the moment you make one mistake or you get some bad luck, you're done. So, my journey continues actually tonight. We'll be playing more with Lily tonight on the late stream. And I hope that you guys will obviously join me for that, as I want to get her to Master, but I don't think I'm going to be lucky enough to do so before we head into the new DLC character this week, because I basically have 2 streams of her between now and then. I have one Friday, and I want to say there's one Monday night, but between 2 night streams, I don't think we're getting her to Master, just being honest. Maybe if we get lucky, but I'm not foreseeing it. It's just such a tough climb. So there you go. Let's see how it goes tonight. But anyway, thanks to anyone who has been showing up and supporting Street Fighter 6. There's a lot more Street Fighter 6 this week. Last week there was only that one stream. This week there'll be 3 streams, if not more. So there you go. All right. Let's talk about today, and let's talk about the schedule for the rest of the week. Then we got a giant news segment, and we'll go from there. So, today, it is the continuation of Lies of P. I'm very excited to continue with Lies of P today. Love the game. 8 hours in, 0 complaints. How often is it that I ever would be playing a video game and 8 hours into it, I say I have no complaints, right? It's pretty much Bloodborne 1.5. It's everything you ever wanted from a sequel to Bloodborne without it actually being a sequel to Bloodborne. It's got interesting gameplay mechanics that are a combination of Dark Souls, Bloodborne, and Sekiro. Great graphics, great atmosphere, really good plot developments. I'm really digging it. I don't see a reason to dislike it yet. But then again, we're 8 hours in, and you know the game's going to be lengthy. If it's a Bloodborne kind of a knockoff, it's going to be probably 20, 30 hours. And so, how will it get as we get further in? We're going to find out. But I'm loving it. So I hope you will join me for that. Today, we're starting off at a boss. We actually got to the end of the 4th level, or the 4th chapter, I should say, and we're about to fight a boss. So this will be neat to see how the boss goes today. Is it tough? How long will it take me to beat it? And then we go into whatever the 5th level is and go from there, okay? So, good stuff. Excited for more Lies of P on the first stream. By the way, thank you, because you guys have very well supported me during the Lies of P streams, and I really appreciate this level of support I've gotten. Tonight, more Street Fighter 6, as I stated, 6:45 p.m. Pacific time, as we continue on with Lily, and we try to keep her climb to Master going, okay? Tomorrow, we mix it all up. Tomorrow, during the daytime, it will actually be Mortal Kombat 1 multiplayer. Yes, I'm going to probably pick Sindel and take her quickly into training mode and her trials, and just learn some basic combos and or juggles and strategies with her. And then we're going to go online and see how I can do with Sindel tomorrow in Mortal Kombat 1, my first actual kind of full stream of Mortal Kombat 1 multiplayer. No, I'm not playing Invasion. No, I'm not playing Story. The entire purpose of the stream is to play Mortal Kombat 1 multiplayer, okay? So I hope you will join me for that. It should be a good time. We'll see how it goes and go from there. Tomorrow night will be the return of Starfield on the late stream, okay? And I'm excited for that. 2 hours of continuing on with that plot line of the UC Vanguard and see where it goes. But right now, it's kind of the best plot in the game so far, and I'm really enjoying it. So more of that soon. And then Sunday, it will be my weekly React Day, DSP versus the Internet, on the first stream over on my sister channel, DSP React. The late stream on Sunday will actually be the continuation of Lies of P. And then Monday, we'll basically start alternating again. So probably Lies of P on the daytime stream, Street Fighter 6 on the late stream. Tuesday, more Mortal Kombat, more Starfield. Wednesday the 27th is the one big day of the week because it is the release of Aki, the new DLC character in Street Fighter 6. She looks unique. She looks interesting. I'm excited to try using her and figure her out because she does look really creepy, and I wonder how uniquely she will play compared to the rest of the cast. Will she be good? Like, Rashid was a pretty darn good DLC character. I would argue upper mid to lower top tier. That's how good Rashid is. How will Aki play? I don't know. Seems like she has some interesting tools. Like, for example, against characters who are spamming fireballs, she can at any time do this snake walk under a fireball, and looks like she can punish with a combo. Like, it's a move that goes zoop right under a fireball and then combo right in their face. That's really useful, I would say. Okay? But ultimately, you will never know if a character is good until you actually start using them. So we'll see that this Wednesday, and I'm going to cover it just like I did with Rashid, where the first stream will take her into training mode and or learn her basics with her tutorial where it teaches all her challenges and everything. And then we'll probably maybe do a casual match or two just to practice some basics. And then we'll go right into online play and see how I do with ranked and everything like I did with Rashid. Now, will we play her all day? I don't know. We could play her all day if people are liking it. But I guess we'll see. I'm kind of leaving Wednesday open for that. If she ends up being a really interesting character, then yeah, I probably want to use her all day long and see how it goes. So we shall see on Wednesday. Okay? Now, the next new games start coming out in early October. I think the first one actually coming out is Assassin's Creed Mirage. And then we got a little bit of reprieve, but then another week later, there's like more and more. So my focus for this week and the next week will be get as far into Lies of P as I can. Do some multiplayer sessions in Mortal Kombat 1. Try to sink as much time into this stuff as I can before other new releases will come out that will take time away. Notably, Lies of P would be the game I could probably beat, while the other ones are more multiplayer focused. So it's not like I'm beating Street Fighter 6 or Mortal Kombat 1. You see what I mean? So let's see how it goes, and depending on how people show up and support and engage with the content, that'll help me determine what I should spend more time on and less time on. You know what I mean? But this is a great balance of a week for sure. Like this week, we've got so much going on in regards to variety of content. We got 2 fighting games I'm juggling, plus Lies of P and some chill Starfield. That's a good variety of stuff for this coming week. Okay, so. I hope that you all will join me. By the way, welcome Jade. Jade just showed up to the stream. And to anyone who showed up, because, wow, our viewership more than doubled since I started this segment. Thanks for being here, everybody. Okay, ladies and gents, it is time for my favorite segment, your favorite segment, everyone's favorite segment of the Level 1 podcast. It's a little ditty I like to call DSP News. And I don't like that color for today. I don't know about being a little ditty, though. Sounds a little weird. How about a blue news bar for today? For contrast. Red versus blue. Okay. So, we got a lot of news to get through. Let's just start right now talking about a little something that we've been talking about over the last couple of years. NFTs. Non-fungibility token emojis. Or whatever the hell it stands for, because I don't think anyone even remembers anymore. Ladies and gentlemen, a new report shows that non-fungible tokens, or NFTs, the entire market has essentially collapsed. Nearly all NFTs that were ever sold are practically valueless. In fact, someone did some math. All right? A new study has shown 95% of NFTs that were ever sold are actually valued at $0. More than $23 million were invested into NFTs over the course of about a 2-year period, and all of that money has been completely erased. Do you remember when Ubisoft actually was internally developing games based around NFTs? Remember, was it Tom Clancy's, it was one of the Tom Clancy games. And they were like, oh yeah, so there's an NFT that you'll get for your character. And then if you get it, then you can sell it to other players and stuff. Can you imagine a video game where as you play it, you earn NFTs for playing, and then those NFTs are unique, and you could sell them to other players. So not only are you investing time into the game for fun, but you're actually getting a money investment out of the game as well. And do you remember when I criticized that, and I said, how many gamers do you realistically think play video games because they expect a money investment to pay off at the end? We're playing it for engagement and fun. We're not playing as a money investment, because there's something in life you could actually do. I don't know if you guys heard about this. There's a little concept, okay? You ready for this? There's a concept out there, I don't know if you've heard of it yet, that you can actually do something like some kind of task or work, and you can actually pay for it. I don't know if you've heard for this yet, that you can actually put in some kind of effort into some kind of a practice or you know, and then you get actual monetary compensation after the fact for what you've done. It's called a job, and that's what you should do. If you want to make money, you get a job. You don't play video games and try to sell NFTs based on what you earn. You actually get a job, a guaranteed employment opportunity where you'll be paid for what you work for. Do you understand? People don't play video games to earn fucking money playing them. What the fuck were these idiotic game developers thinking? I don't know. But of course, it's not just game development. I'm just saying that, you know, it's ridiculous that game developers were actually going this route. They genuinely thought that they could design entire video games around NFTs and it would go well. And now here we are, 2 years into it. The entire market is gone. You notice no one talks about it anymore. It's dead. The whole idea was a moronic thing to begin with. Who the hell cares about a digital item that's unique because it has some kind of a auto regenerating key associated with it? Who gives two fucks, right? Like, for example, this is a microfiber cloth. Now, this is the real one in my hand, but you can own an NFT of this microfiber cloth for $5. And I'll just take a screenshot of this and send it to you with a auto-generating key to prove that it's the original screenshot that I took on my stream. And you pay me $5 for it. Now, what do you do with that? Nothing, you fucking moron. It has no value. No one cares. Anyone could have taken a screenshot of the stream and, it's maybe not the original NFT, but who fucking cares? It's the same screenshot. That's the problem with NFTs. They have no intrinsic value whatsoever. If you say, it's a unique item for a video game. Yeah, but it has to be for something that someone would care about. Like, for example, right now in Street Fighter 6, if someone could get an NFT item that was godlike and gave you double health, you have a double health bar, and you can use that in any mode you want, including ranked play. I bet people would want that, because they say, man, I'll pay $100 to have double health for the rest of the time I ever play Street Fighter 6. It's unfair, but who gives a fuck, right? So that's what I mean. But that's not what they were offering. They were offering these cosmetics and this nonsensical stuff that has zero value, so no one cared. Anyway, I'm not too sad about the NFT market falling out from under. I don't think anyone cared about it to begin with, correct? Okay, so Tokyo Game Show had a lot of stuff going on, and just a few ideas of things that have happened at Tokyo Game Show and how it's kind of updated the whole gaming landscape. So first of all, just listen to this. A new game that is a collaboration between Swery65 and Suda51. That game is going to be insane. That game is going to be the biggest trip you've ever heard of. It's called Hotel Barcelona. And for what I'm to understand, it's supposed to be something to do with a hotel of killers or something like that. I didn't really look into it that much. But just the fact that it's Swery65 and Suda51 making a game together, you might as well do some psychotropic drugs, when you're playing it. And you might as well, it's just gonna be wild. I can't imagine the game will be intelligible in any way. I mean, it's just gonna be out there, right? Anyway, that game is coming out in 2024. Some other games: My Lovely Empress, Althea: The Wrath of a Fairy, Octopath Traveler 2 will be on Xbox in 2024. Ori X Party Animals collaboration. TESO will launch in Japan. Do you see the point I'm making? That's Tokyo Game Show. Wow. Tokyo Game Show really doesn't resonate with a worldwide audience these days. It's very Tokyo-centric, or I should say Japanese-centric games. Do you even know what the hell I'm talking about? And this is the announcements out of Tokyo Game Show. I think the biggest announcement out of Tokyo Game Show is like, Panda's a character in Tekken 8, and everyone's like, and? Panda's always been in Tekken. What's the big deal? What are you talking about? It's not even an announcement. We kind of figured Kuma's in Tekken 8, so of course the counterpart's in there too. How is that an announcement? You know what I mean? So, Tokyo Game Show, they act like it's so huge and important, but every year there's barely any news that comes out of it, so I kind of wonder why people act like it's huge and important. I don't know. I was looking through all the news, I'm not really seeing anything that's blowing me away. Some stuff, for example, there's some new games coming to Game Pass. Ace Attorney Trilogy will actually be hitting Xbox and a Game Pass on September 26th. For those who haven't played any of the Phoenix Wright games, they're pretty damn good if you like visual novel style games. Like a Dragon Ishin from earlier this year, that was the Samurai era Like a Dragon game. That's going to hit Game Pass by the end of the year. Like a Dragon Gaiden, The Man Who Erased His Name, will actually be a day one Game Pass game when it releases on November 9th. So for those of us who are Game Pass subscribers, that's some good news, especially if you're like a Dragon fan like I am. I mean, I'm excited to play that game. I hope you guys are too. I'm going to be playing it in November. That's great. Don't have to pay for it, right? That's always good. So, of course, undoubtedly now what people are saying is, well, wait a minute. If Like a Dragon Gaiden is on Game Pass, what about the upcoming Like a Dragon Infinite Wealth coming out the end of Japan? Wow. The end of January? No. That hasn't been mentioned. So I get the feeling that one we're all going to have to buy when we want to play it. But I'm happy to hear that Gaiden will be on Game Pass. That's a cool one, man. Okay? Sweet. All right, continuing on here. So now, by the way, with now all this information coming out about all these games that are coming out next year, early next year, are you ready to listen to the craziest? Well, I'd say it is a crazy week, but maybe not so much. Listen to this week of releases. These games are now releasing between January 25th and February 2nd, okay, of next year. Under Night In Birth 2, which I believe that's a fighting game, right? Is it not? It's definitely Japanese anime-centric. I'm not sure exactly what it is, but I think it's a fighting game. Tekken 8. Oops. You're releasing a fighting game the same week as Tekken 8. That's probably a bad idea, I'm just saying. Like a Dragon Infinite Wealth. So already we've got Tekken 8 and Like a Dragon Infinite Wealth coming out the same week. Grand Blue Fantasy Relink. Now, I don't know. That's not the fighting game, correct? Grand Blue Fantasy was its own fantasy-style RPG series first, and then they made Grand Blue Fantasy Versus, which was the fighting game, correct? So I don't think Relink is a fighting game, but it's another game coming out that week in the Grand Blue universe. It's an action RPG hybrid, says Carlton Jr. Thank you, because I didn't know about it. So it's in that universe, but that's also coming out that week. Persona 3 Reload is coming out that week. Now, keep in mind, Persona 3 Reload is coming out the same week as Like a Dragon Infinite Wealth. Do you see maybe a problem there with competition and cannibalism? You've got two RPGs. One that's a classic that's beloved by the JRPG community being completely redesigned for a modern audience and released the same week as a ginormously new JRPG that's also a franchise beloved now by the Japanese JRPG audience. Like, well, how are you going to play both? That's just wild. They're all coming out. By the way, I wasn't done. Guess what also comes out that week? Suicide Squad Kill the Justice League. Yes, the new game from Rocksteady that got delayed extremely long to be better. Well, it's supposed to come out that week as well. So again, in 1 week, Under Night In-Birth 2, Tekken 8, Like a Dragon Infinite Wealth, Grand Blue Fantasy Relink, Persona 3 Reloaded, and Suicide Squad. In 1 week. Do you want to know the truth? I mean, out of those games, I'm probably going to play Tekken, and I'm probably going to play Like a Dragon Infinite Wealth. I'm probably skipping everything else. Yes, I'm probably skipping Suicide Squad. How on earth am I going to play all those games at once? That's ludicrous, right? So I think Suicide Squad, from what I've seen, looks like shit. It's probably going to be the one I end up skipping because I need time to play everything else, you know? That's just insane. So, wow. And by the way, that's just the 1 week because that's not even factoring in the fact that you've got that same month coming up, Final Fantasy VII Rebirth, and like a ton of other games. It's just wild how, like, it's like mid to end of January through February of next year is absolutely insanity for games. It's going to be a crazy time, man. All right. Anyway, pretty nutty stuff. Okay. We have a major update regarding two different stories. Would you guys like to hear the Unity Engine story update first, or would you like to hear the update on the Microsoft Activision merger first? Which would you like an update on? I have updates on both stories. Unity story. Kurt Russell said first Unity. So there you go. Okay. As of this morning, the Unity Engine company, all right, have actually announced changes to their plan. If you don't know what I'm talking about, last week, Unity came out of nowhere announcing public changes to their monetization model, saying, hey, if you're going to license our game engine to make your games moving forward, we're completely changing our model in 2024 to now, once you hit a certain level of sales, you must pay us a per install fee. This is unprecedented across the industry. No one else does it. Unity looks like to be the first to want to implement this, and everyone across the industry, game developers, publishers, everyone has publicly come out against it, saying this is an awful, greedy practice. This is going to entirely destroy companies and game dev groups. You should not do this at all. You have to do better than this. Please fix it. Okay? So, what happened? Unity came out last week and said, okay, we'll look into it, and we'll try to fix it and improve. Did they actually? Well, here's what happened, okay? They came out this morning, and here's their changes that they have proposed. There will be a Unity personal plan that exists today that will remain free and will never have a runtime fee. The cap will increase from 100K to 200K, meaning as long as you don't make over $200,000 in sales, there will never be a runtime fee associated with your use of the Unity engine. So because they made that change, that immediately means non-for-profit games, games that are sold in like humble bundles or freebies, you know, things like that shouldn't be affected. Anyone who's small time shouldn't be affected. It's only going to be bigger guys selling games for big profit that will be affected by this change now, okay? Number two, no game with less than $1 million in a trailing 12-month revenue stream will be subject to the fee. So if you make less than $1 million in a year on your game, you also won't have to pay the runtime fee. Okay? Continuing on, because there's more than that. There's going to be a different one. It's called Unity Pro Enterprise Edition. So this is not the personal plan. With this new edition, the runtime fee will apply beginning with your next LTS version of Unity, which will ship in 2024 and beyond. So essentially what they're saying is, if you're using the current version of Unity today, you're okay. But if you want to use any future versions of Unity, you have to pay the runtime fee. Now, why do you think they're doing this? Because so many indie developers already were like, listen, we're mid-project, and these games take forever to make. How are you expecting us now to continue on developing games on your engine when you changed it mid-life cycle? It wasn't like they said, here's a date, and then, anything new. It's like, no, anyone using the engine then on will be affected. But we're already using it. We're stuck. It's like we're prisoners. We already made half our game in your engine. We can't quit out now. So you're essentially forcing us into a pricing structure we're not agreeing to. Well, they're now saying, unless you decide to start using the updated version of Unity next year, you don't have to do this new fee structure. So as long as you're sticking with the current version of Unity, you're okay. All right? Also, current shipped games and projects currently working on existing Unity is not included unless you decide to upgrade to the new version of the Unity engine pre-development of your game, or mid-development of your game. Get it? So, again, as long as you're fine making a game and you just want to use the standard engine they have now and you don't care about updates, you're all right. But the moment you want to do updates next year, you got to agree to the new terms of service, and that runtime fee is going to apply if you're using their Pro or Enterprise plan. So, is this a good compromise? Well, I'm not a game dev. I can't answer that question. We'd actually have to get real feedback from game devs to really see what they think about this. In my opinion, at least it's a step in the right direction from what I'm understanding. I still don't think it's what people want. People just don't want a runtime fee. They think it's ludicrous. They think that these game engine developers are making enough money on their contracts that they don't need to have this insane increase in profits based on installs. And I think what it is that this company, Unity, has a board of investors who sit there and don't really care, and all they care about is the money rolling into the shareholders. So how do you make more money? Well, let's use this new model. Well, did we consult the industry? Did we figure out if this is something people would rally against? No, let's just make a knee-jerk reaction and see how they respond. And if they respond poorly, well, then we'll act like we care and we're sympathetic, and then we'll say, oh, because we listened to our feedback from our customers, now we'll change it. But they were really hoping no one would say anything and they would just get away with it. But of course, they didn't. So now they look, oh, we look good because we changed this now after the fact. How about you just didn't announce it? Because you're not greedy, right? And no matter what, they're scumbags. The problem is these kind of scumbags control everything. They really do. They're controlling all these major companies and corporations, and we're just there, the end users, right? We're the ones who are subject to their nonsense. You know, how many game devs would have been put out of business if they didn't decide to backpedal on some of these changes they initially proposed? Do you think they cared? They care about public opinion is what they care about. That's it. They don't want people to say, oh, well, no one wants to play a game made in Unity anymore because that's a bunch of greedy scumbags, you know? So, yeah, it's kind of sad that this is the case we're in. At least they backpedaled a bit. I would much rather than me telling you, oh, it's good or bad, I'd rather hear from game devs. And since these proposed changes just happened this morning, we don't really have any feedback yet from game devs. I'd like to actually see the next few days how game devs respond to these changes and if they feel that they're sufficient enough or not. Okay? Continuing on, I told you we had a lot of news today. So, two big updates in the Xbox Activision Blizzard merger. First of all, the UK regulator that originally was blocking the merger has now provisionally approved the acquisition. So, essentially because Microsoft said they're going to sell cloud rights to Ubisoft. We talked about this a few weeks ago. They said they want to sell their rights to Ubisoft. Then this regulatory body in the UK now doesn't feel that it's a problem anymore. And therefore, they are going to basically give it their stamp of approval. All right? So, I believe that there's like one more chance for this thing to go wrong, but basically the deadline is October 18th. So by October 18th, we should finally say it's happening or it's not. Like, this is it. These are the final roadblocks that are now being cleared. And as of right now, it is absolutely looking like this merger is going to go through. By the way, I did not update the Nightbot schedule. I will do that right now. I forgot to do that. Sorry about that. I'll fix it right now because people are like, why is the schedule so outdated? I'll fix it right now. Hold on. So, Friday, September 22nd. The lies of P at 12:45 p.m. PDT. Then SF6 Lily ranked MP at 6:45 p.m. PDT. Okay, that should be correct. Give it a second to save, and then we'll test it. Ready? Yeah! I got two P's. I have PPDDT or something like that. I screwed that up, but I like being able to change it on the fly. Very nice. Thank you guys for that. Okay, continuing on. There is controversy among the Call of Duty community. What a shocker. What is the controversy? Well, listen to this one. As you all know, Modern Warfare 3 is coming out shortly, within a couple of months. Now, as we've already known, it basically is Modern Warfare 2. Only they've tweaked it a bit to play a little differently, new maps and stuff. But it really is Modern Warfare 2 with some updates. It really could have been a DLC, but in their infinite greed, Activision is choosing to charge you $70 as if it's a new game. Now, one of the things that they are doing with Modern Warfare 3 is they are updating Warzone. So now Warzone will be a whole new thing. And when they're doing that, essentially what they've done is they are getting rid of all of the things you bought in Warzone 1. So let's say for years and years, you were playing Warzone 1 and you really enjoyed it, right? And you're a fan of Call of Duty and you said, you know what, I like Warzone so much, I'm going to sink a bunch of money into this Warzone. Maybe you streamed it a lot, you made money on it, you know. So you bought skins, you bought customizables, you bought non-fungible tokens. All right, if you did that, you're an idiot. I don't think anyone, hopefully no one did that. But, you know, people invested money in this game. Well, with this new version of Warzone, all of your old stuff is gone. None of the stuff that you bought in the old Warzone carries over anymore. It's all gone completely. But the reason the real controversy is happening is because, number one, Warzone, this new Warzone essentially is the same. It's just like you know, different map or tweaks or whatever, but it's the same. So people are like, why couldn't the things we bought in the old one carry over? That doesn't really make sense. It's not like you redesigned it and it's a new thing. It's the same fucking game mode. Just, you know, it seems like you're willingly saying we want people to lose what they bought. And then on top of that, guess this. They're actually re-releasing some of that downloadable content that people already paid for and they're saying it doesn't apply anymore. They're re-releasing it again and you have to buy it again if you want it. Even though people already bought it previously, they're selling it a second time, saying this is new Warzone, so you have to buy that stuff again. So, let this be a lesson, all right, to people. When you invest in any kind of these online community games, these battle royale games, or even looter shooter games, you know, any of these games where there's a ton of microtransactions associated with it to make it profitable for the company, you have to understand that. That's literally the profit of the company. They're not really caring about quality. All they care about is if they made $1 on it, okay? At any time, these online-only modes of games or entire games in general can go away like this, right? Someone actually made a point. They said, imagine if Epic Games just decided, hey guys, we're going to shut down all the Fortnite servers forever. You'll lose all the skins and cosmetics you ever paid for, but don't worry because Fortnite 2 is coming. And you could rebuy stuff there. I mean, honestly, what would happen? That's a good question. Would people try to sue Fortnite? Would it work? Because I'm pretty sure probably in the user agreement you sign with Fortnite, it probably states that at any time they could choose to shut it down and you're fucked, right? I'm pretty sure they cover their butts legally, you know? And there's people who probably invested insane amounts of money into that game. So, you know what I'm saying? Like, you have to kind of understand that when you're playing in these online community games, them's the breaks. You're not really investing into something that's tangible and that can stick around forever. You're just paying a little bit of extra money for something silly, you know? Like right now, I've invested a little bit of extra money in Street Fighter 6. I bought some of those coins so we could buy some outfits, right? And we have a few outfits for a couple of the characters. But if Capcom took that away, I really don't have the right to really complain because it's all bullshit. You know what I mean? It is. It's just all bullshit. And I think as we get further into online gaming community stuff, we're going to start to realize that. But I think right now what it is, it's called shell shock, where all of a sudden the reality smacks you in the face that all that time you spent in that game and all that money you spent on it, to the game developer, they didn't give a fuck. All they cared about was their bank account being funded by you, the sucker, right? I mean, what's going to happen? Think about this. What's going to happen when GTA 6 comes out? To all the content people invested and spent in GTA Online during GTA 5. Do you think it'll carry over? Or do you think they're going to announce GTA Online 2? Might want to think about it before you dump another $1 into GTA Online today, because GTA 6 is right around the corner, guys. All right. Ladies and gents, that is the news for today. I actually have some other stories that are in development, but because they haven't fully really fleshed themselves out yet, I feel like it's a little early to mention them. I have like 2 particular stories that I would like to talk about eventually, but being that I like to wait a little bit, let stuff cook a little bit further before I talk about it on the show, because if you have half a story and you don't really have the whole story fully cooked yet, then it could end up fizzling into nothing. There's one particular story that I'm interested in, but I want to make sure that it's truthful before I'd say anything about it. So, more... Oh, that's a piece of plastic. I thought that was like a piece of fuzz or something. That's a piece of plastic sticking on a webcam. Oh. Anyway, so that's the news for today. I hope you guys liked the segment. That was a pretty lengthy one, right? All right. So, ladies and gentlemen, now we get to the segment of the show that is shout-outs for your contributions. A little bit of Q&A before we adjourn and we get ready for Lies of P. All right? So, let's see what people want to talk about today. All right? We start off today with Mr. Game Master, who did a super chat and said, "Hi, DSP. Did you hear Gotham Knights is coming to Game Pass?" You know, I heard it in passing, reading through all the news stories for today. Yeah, Gotham Knights, last fall's DC game, where you basically play everyone in Gotham City but Batman, is coming on Game Pass. So if you didn't play it last year and you were waiting, now would be a good time. It's a fine game. The only real problem I had with it was the graphical performance, because it ran at 30 frames or below. Outside of that, the gameplay elements were sound. The actual story was pretty good. You know, I liked the gameplay loop and everything. I liked that you could switch between 4 characters that were kind of different. That was fun to me. So, if you've been waiting, now might be a good time to check it out this fall. If you're looking for a cheap or free game to play on Game Pass, there you go. Bloomkit did a super chat this morning. Says, "Go back to the original Burger King and demand to speak to someone. The feud has been building for 2 years. We need a proper conclusion." I'm pretty sure 2 years later, no one cares. I don't have a receipt saved or anything from 2 years ago. You know, at that point, I told you the full story. Like, I wanted to go inside and complain because the sandwich was so bad, and they locked the doors. Keep in mind, this was 2021. The pandemic was over. They just kept the doors locked so no one could go in and ever complain about anything. I'm serious. Anyway, let's continue. Bloomkit did another super chat and said, "Don't skip Persona. It's gonna be fire." Well, like I said, there is absolutely no way I'm playing Persona 3 Remaster while I'm also playing the new Like a Dragon Infinite Wealth game that same week, and then a month later I'm playing Final Fantasy VII Rebirth. It's just not happening. Maybe I would play the Persona 3 remake later in the year when things slow down, but that's too many RPGs, so I have to skip it at launch. Sorry. So that is our latest super chat. No, Dan the Man re-upped his membership for 20 months. Says, "Hey Phil, what's going on, Dan the Man? Good to see you. Thank you for your ongoing support of the channel." Dragon Lord Gusida Sachs, who, for those who don't know, this is one of the accounts accused of being a sock. I don't know if you guys heard this recently. Someone said that this is a sock of the same person who has 17 accounts in my stream. So anyway, Dragon Lord says, "Good luck, Phil. The next 6 bosses are a doozy." Oh, only the next 6? Good. At least it's only the next 6 bosses. That sounds good to me. Okay. I'll just say Dragon Lord G. So is Dragon Lord G actually a sock account of the same person who has 17 accounts in the chat? Who knows? I guess we'll have to figure that out eventually. I'm waiting for evidence. What's going on? Someone just said, "Did you skip the Capcom showcase?" Well, here's the thing. Capcom did a showcase that had a lot of information and stuff we already knew. Like I said, things like, oh, Phoenix Wright collection is coming to Game Pass. There's an update on Dragon's Dogma 2 where it shows more things about it. But it's not like It's all these things are like Tokyo Game Show centric. Tokyo Game Show almost never announces anything new. It's always like updates to things we already knew, or it's a bunch of Japanese-centric games that aren't very interesting to me. You know what I mean? Like, I didn't really necessarily see too much that it's worth even really mentioning. There was no groundbreaking announcements from this Capcom showcase at all, honestly, right? Anyway, continuing on, Screeching Cantus, we have their membership for 12 months as a year of support. Here's to another one. Indeed, thank you, Screeching Cantus, for your year of support. I really, really appreciate that. I'm being asked, do I feel that playing fighting games recently, like Street Fighter 6 and Mortal Kombat 1, has that improved my reflexes, and is that why I'm doing so well in Lies of P? No. I don't think so. I don't think so. Because I guess what people are saying is, why are so many people struggling with Lies of P? Because now a lot more people play that style of game. That's why. You know what I'm saying? That's the deal, where basically before Elden Ring, everyone saw FromSoft games as the get good style of games. And so it was a niche genre that a set amount of people would play, and it was a good amount. But what happened was with Elden Ring, all of a sudden that genre expanded, and now everyone felt like now anyone can play these ultra difficult games because Elden Ring made it so accessible, correct? And then what's happened is since then, hold on. Since then, there's been more of these games coming out and people trying to play them and they can't beat them. Well, look what just happened with Armored Core 6. That game isn't even that hard at all, in my opinion. And yet people rage quitting on the second boss for clickbait views, right? So now same thing's happening here with Lies of P. People are trying to play, oh, it's too hard, I can't beat. Dude, these are not Soulsborne players saying that. It's not. It's everyone else now is trying to jump on the Soulsborne bandwagon, realizing they're basically viewer gold, right? Viewers love to see you play an ultra hard game and try to persevere through it. So you got these people who just haven't been good at this style of game jumping in and rage quitting at it because they're saying, "Oh my God, it's so hard." Yeah, because it ain't Elden Ring. It's not. It's a hybrid of Dark Souls, Bloodborne, and Sekiro. All of those franchises are tougher than Elden Ring. They really are. So there you go. That's probably the reason why you see people rage quitting them. On the tip side of things, let's get started with tips. We have a $3 tip from Lady Charisma. I was finally able to catch up with DSP versus the internet this week. I know you're not a car guy. I think motorsport is an interesting subject for anyone to share more in the future. Maybe something that isn't too stress-inducing next time. I'm trying to remember what you're talking about. What video, particularly, Lady Charisma, are you addressing? I know that at one point we've been talking, weeks ago, we were talking about Forza Motorsport, and now that game is coming out. That game is coming out in the next few months, right? And that game will be more of a sim as opposed to like an arcadey game, because like there's like Forza Horizon, that's the more arcadey open world one, while Forza Motorsport is the sim, and I'm not really into the sim, which is why I'm skipping it. I don't know what else you're talking about though. Thank you for the tip. But yeah, you're absolutely right. I'm just not a car guy. I never have been a car guy. That's why when people say, will you play a driving game, or will you play this game with all these simmed cars? And I'm like, I don't even know what half these cars are. I never heard of them, right? I got a $1 tip from Snow Carl. Can I name the top 3 streamers that I watch with my wife? No. Because you know what would happen? My moron stalkers would go and harass them. So I'm never going to mention a name ever. Thank you for the $1 tip. I received a $1 tip. Snow Carl again, do you think that the game developers use Unity because of its low cost? Should you have expected these costs increasing because Unity runs at approximately 50% loss of revenue ratio and they lost almost $1 billion in $2 revenue and it's objectively cheap to use? No. If there was no actual explanation by anyone that this would ever going to happen, and if their entire business decision was based on the actual operating cost of that system before these changes were announced, then no, they shouldn't have been psychic and known that things were going to change. That's ridiculous. Thanks to the $1 tip. Lady Christmas says, I was talking about the NASCAR crash video. Oh, yeah, that was intense. I couldn't watch much of it. I think I got through like 4 minutes of it, and I was like, that's too much. I mean, it was okay knowing that no one had died, but still to see that intenseness, you got to realize how crazy risky that shit is. Like, oh my God. Okay. Anyway, I received a $2 tip from Lil Baxter. Thanks for playing Lies of P and Street Fighter 6 today. Happy Friday. Happy Friday to you, Lil Baxter. And I hope that you enjoy the day, because I think today will be a great day. I think that's a good balance, right? We got really challenging, exciting, action-based gameplay of Lies of P early. We got Street Fighter at night. We got some good stuff today. Good action-based day in the works. Someone tried to tip me, and it got frozen. Let me take a look at this. Someone has attempted to tip me $5, and your tip has been put into a pending status. And this has happened every once in a while. It's not clear if it's because something on your end looks fishy and PayPal freezes it, or if PayPal just randomly selects people to freeze and review. I have no idea. But I can't even see who it's from. All it says is there's a $5 pending payment that has been frozen, and that's all I can see. I can't see your message. I can't see anything. So if you just tipped me $5 and I didn't shout it out, I'm sorry. I would love to. But for some reason, PayPal froze it. I don't know why. I'm sorry about that. Okay. That's what we've got so far. What time is it? It is 12:17. We still got some time. I will open up the chat to some Q&A. Unless any more contributions come in, and we'll pause here to shout those out. But in the meantime, I'll do a little bit of Q&A with you guys. What's on your minds today? What's my thoughts on Rupert Murdoch stepping down? I have no thoughts. That doesn't affect me at all. I have no opinion on that. Okay? Okay. Let's see here. I guarantee you cannot beat this next boss without a Spectre. You'll eat your shoe if I do, says King Be Cruel. I'm not summoning. I'm not summoning at all in this playthrough. I'm going to play it as if I'm playing Dark Souls or Bloodborne. I'm not summoning. So everything in this game I'm beating without summons. You might as well start eating your shoe now. Jesse, what's going on? Jesse says, happy Friday. Keep up the good work. Thank you, Jesse. Good to see you here today. Nemesis says you should check out Mortuary Assistant. Maybe your mini PC can play it. Mortuary Assistant? Really? There's a game that simulates working in a mortuary. Is it hyper-realistic? Or is there a twist where, like, the bodies come to life or something? It's interesting. Big Mac says, how you liking Lies of P? It's as I said, very simple. I played 8 hours, I don't have a complaint yet. That's pretty revolutionary. It's very rare when I play any video game, and within 8 hours of playing it, I haven't found something to criticize. Right now, it's exactly in line with what I would expect from a mainstream FromSoft game, and it's not made by FromSoft. So, it's everything I was looking for playing Elden Ring. It really is. So, as long as it keeps at that level, I guess I'm going to love it. But I guess we'll see what happens. What's my favorite flavor? Hot Pocket. I don't think I ever liked Hot Pockets. I'm trying to remember. I probably had, like, ham and cheese. The Italian one that has that little sausage balls or meatballs or shit in it with that fake sauce. Pizza with the pepperoni. I've had that one. I've probably had the Philly steak and cheese one. That rings a bell. And every single one of them was absolutely disgusting. They're all gross. They're fucking full of grease and fat and just fucking nasty shit. You should never eat them. Anyway, King Be Cruel, you heard of Bill Dance, the famous fisherman? Never heard of him. Cypress TV says PC has a ridiculous amount of strange sim-style games. Really? I don't doubt that. Turkey or beef hot dog says Nikolai. That's their name, Nikolai. Well, depends. I like turkey hot dogs. I adopted them. That's what we eat whenever we eat hot dogs. We're eating turkey hot dogs. At the same time, you cannot beat a 100% beef hot dog like a Nathan's. Oh, dude. I love Nathan's hot dogs. They are mouth-wateringly delicious. Just I can't eat them because I can't eat a lot of red meat. So 90% of the time I'll be eating a turkey hot dog, but the rarity when I splurge and I eat some beef hot dogs, yo, they are good. Do I ride in a moving truck? Yes, I've been in a truck that has moved before. Okay. So, listen to this person. This essentially is another sock account doing a super chat. Okay, I really would like to answer to this question. Why do you try to, like, mess with me and waste my time? It doesn't affect anything. Do you understand? None of you have ever affected my content. I still get to make content. I still am here. I'm still supported by my audience. Everything's fine. You guys come in here and trying to troll with these sock accounts and shit. It doesn't do anything. Do you understand that? It literally doesn't affect anything negatively. I guarantee you could probably go to someone else's community who buys into the toxicity and drama shit, and you get way more of a rise, and you get way more of an effect. I don't know why you come here. It's just like, what's the word? It's exhausting to see people be so fruitless with their lives. You know what I'm saying? Like, to see so many people come here and try and fail and waste their time at something. It's like, you could have easily just spent that time on something else. You could have done anything else on this planet that would have been more productive for you. And you wasted your time here in my chat, like, with this nonsense. Like, who cares, dude? Not me. No one here. We're all just like, whatever. Like, I really want you to get help at this point. Like, why are you here with one of your million sock accounts at this point? Like, anyway. No, you don't know. That person is definitely a sock account. It's a variation of the name that they've used before. I'm not stupid. Okay. Will I ever play Team Fortress 2 again on my mini PC? I might. That would be interesting. Of course, I'd have to play it on gamepad. There's nowhere for me to set up like a keyboard mouse setup here to play games. And I've really only majorly played it on a keyboard mouse. You see? I don't know. We'd have to see. I'd be down for that, though. If ever you wanted to see me do a little bit of Team Fortress 2. But from my understanding, the game is very different than back in the day when I used to play it, like when it was part of Orange Box at first. And I guess there's a lot of trolling and stuff on there, too. Like, there's potential people could just show up and troll the shit out of you. So, I don't know. Good morning, No Sleep Real Vibes. Good to see you here. Anyone have any important topics? If not, maybe we'll break a little early here, and I gotta use the bathroom before we jump into Lies of P today. But we'll get set up. Unless anyone has another interesting question or a shout out to do. Okay. No, I guess not. It's all nonsensical stuff. So, okay. If I haven't played since Orange Box, the game has become a cosmetic game. I heard that. I heard that basically the entire game is now getting skins and things, and that's all anyone cares about. They play to just earn 1 million skins, and the whole game is just craziness, right? Like zaniness. Sprays and skins. Right. Yes, Dan the Man, the next special event will be Halloween. We opted that this month there would not be a special event. People wanted me to focus in on the new releases, which I think is probably a really good idea. I've done a special event once or twice every month this year. So it kind of makes sense to step back for September and just focus on the games. And then October, we'll do the Halloween event. Also in October, I'm going to be doing the special tier maker stream. We're going to rank horror movie franchises against each other. And likely once a week, I'm going to be reviewing a horror movie. Probably starting end of September. I think I'll do like a horror movie review near the end of September. And then once a week throughout October, review a new horror movie for you guys. So, okay. I think it's time to end the show. Thank you all. And I appreciate you guys chilling with me here on the show. It was a great one. Of course, tomorrow we'll be talking more about Lies of P and Street Fighter 6 and any other crazy news going on. I thank you all for joining me today. And stay cool, be safe, and see you tomorrow.